Hi friends, today I am going to discuss with the topic salient features of the constitution, schedules of the constitution and sources of the constitution. See, the Indian constitution is unique in its contents and spirit. Though borrowed from almost every constitution of the world, the constitution of India has several salient features that distinguish it from the constitutions of other countries. First feature is lengthiest written constitution. Constitutions are classified into two types. One is written constitution and another is unwritten constitution. Example for written constitution is American Constitution. Example for unwritten constitution is British Constitution. The Constitution of India is the lengthiest of all the written constitutions of the world. It is very comprehensive, elaborate and detailed document. Originally, the Constitution contained a preamble, 395 articles. It's divided into 22 parts and 8 schedules. Present, it consists of a preamble about 470 articles divided into 25 parts and 12 schedules. Four factors have contributed to determine the size of our constitution. They are geographical factors, historical factors, single constitution, and domination of legal luminaries. Coming to geographical factors, that is the vastness of the country and its diversity. Historical factors are, for example, the influence of Government of India Act of 1935, which was bulky. Next, coming to single constitution, it is for both the center and the state. Next, dominance of legal luminaries in the Constitution Assembly. The Constitution contains not only the fundamental principles of governance and also detailed administrative provisions. Next feature is drawn from various sources. The Constitution of India has borrowed most of its provisions from the constitutions of other countries as well as from the Government of India Act of 1935. The structural part of the Constitution is derived from the Government of India Act of 1935. The philosophical part derived from the American and Irish constitutions. Here, philosophical part means fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. Next, coming to political part. Political part derived from the British Constitution. Next feature is blend of rigidity and flexibility. What is rigid constitution? If the constitution is amended, special majority is called rigid constitution. What is flexible constitution? If the constitution is amended with a simple majority, then it is called as flexible constitution. Indian constitution is both rigid and flexible constitution. Example of rigid constitution is American Constitution. Example of flexible constitution is British Constitution. What is special majority? Some provisions amended by special majority, that is 2 by 3rd of the majority of the members of each house present and voting, and a majority more than 50% of the total membership of each house. Next, what is simple majority? Some provisions amended by using simple majority manner of ordinary legislative process. For example, formation of a new state, creation of a new state, like that. Next, coming to federal system and unitary bias. The Constitution of India establishes a federal system of government. It is a federal system, but it also has the unitary features. What are the federal features? The federal features are division of power, supremacy of the constitution, written constitution, rigidity of the constitution, independent judiciary, and bicameralism. Next, what are the features of unitary? The unitary features are strong center, single constitution, single citizenship, flexibility of the constitution, integrated judiciary, appointment of state governor by the center, all India services, emergency provisions. During the emergency, center may taken power by the central government. Next feature is parliamentary form of government. The Constitution of India opted for the British parliamentary system of government. The features of parliamentary government in India are the presence of nominal, that is de jure, and real de facto executives. Majority party rule, collective responsibility to the Lok Sabha, leadership of the Prime Minister at the central level, Chief Minister at the state level, and dissolution of the Lok Sabha. This type of government is present at both state and central levels. Next, coming to synthesis of parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy. The doctrine of sovereignty of parliament is associated with the British Parliament, while the principle of judicial supremacy associated with the American Supreme Court. Therefore, the framers of the Indian Constitution have prepared a proper synthesis between the British principle of parliamentary sovereignty and the American principle of judicial supremacy. Next, coming to integrated and independent judiciary. The Indian Constitution establishes a judicial system that is integrated as well as independent. The Supreme Court stands at the top of the integrated judicial system in the country. Below it, there are high courts at the state level. This single system of courts enforces both the central laws as well as state laws. Next, coming to fundamental rights. The main aim of fundamental rights is for the promotion of political democracy. Fundamental rights are justiciable, that is, they are enforceable by the courts for their violation. What are the fundamental rights? Right to equality between Article 14 to 18. Right to freedom between Article 19 to 22. Right against exploitation between Article 23 to 24. Right to freedom of religion between Article 25 to 28. Next, cultural and educational rights between Article 29 to 30. Next, right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. These all are comes under fundamental rights. Next, coming to directive principles of state policy. The main aim of DPSPs is to promote the social and economic democracy. They seek to establish welfare state in India. They are non-justiciable in nature. They are classified into three categories: socialist principles, Gandhian principles, and liberal and intellectual principles. Next, coming to fundamental duties. Fundamental duties serve as a reminder that rights and duties are correlative. Fundamental duties are added through 42nd Amendment Act in the year 1976 on the recommendation of Swaransi Committee. Addition of one more fundamental duty added through 86th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2002. These are non-justiciable in nature. Next, coming to secular state. The Constitution does not uphold any particular religion as the official religion. It gives equal respect to all the religion, no official religion of the state. It adopted Western concept of secularism, that is complete separation between religion and state. It adopted Indian concept of secularism, that is giving respect to all religions and protecting all religions equally. The word secular added through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Next feature is universal adult franchise. All adults are permitted to vote. Voting age has been reduced from 21 to 18 in the year 1989 through 61st Constitutional Amendment Act. Next, coming to single citizenship. Though the Indian constitution is federal with dual polity, it provides for only a single citizenship, that is the Indian citizenship. Next feature is independent bodies. The constitution provides the independent bodies as the bulwarks of the democratic system. These are Election Commission, Union Public Service Commission, COG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, State Public Service Commission. Next, coming to emergency provisions. During emergency, converted a federal structure into a unitary one. There are three types of emergencies: national emergency, Article 352; state emergency, that is President's rule. In case failure of the constitutional machinery in the state, that is, it deals with the Article 356. Failure comply with the direction of the center, it deals with the Article 365. Next, financial emergency, Article 360. Next feature is three-tier government. Through 73rd and 74th amendments, three-tier structure was created. 73rd Constitutional Amendment 1992 deals with rural and local government, added new Schedule 11 and Part 9. 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 deals with urban local bodies, added new Schedule 11 and Part 9. Next feature is cooperative societies. The 97th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2011 gave a constitutional status and protection to cooperative societies. It made the changes. Those are fundamental right to form cooperative societies according to Article 19(1)(c). It included a new DPSP, that is Promotion of Cooperative Societies, Article 43(b). It added a new Part 9(b). It is parliamentary power to regulate multi-state cooperative societies. These all are the features of Constitution. Next, coming to schedules of the Constitution. First schedule. It deals with names of the states and their territorial jurisdiction, names of the union territories and their extent. Articles covered 1 and 4. Next, coming to second schedule. Provisions related to the emoluments, allowances, privileges, and so on of the President of India, the governors of states, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the Chairman and the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly in the state, the Chairman and the Deputy Chairman of the Legislative Council in the states, the judges of the Supreme Court, the judges of the High Courts, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Articles covered 59, 65, 75, 97, 125, 148, 158, 164, 186 and 221. Next schedule is third schedule. It deals with the subject forms of oaths or affirmations for the union ministers, the candidates for election to the parliament, the members of parliament, the judges of Supreme Court, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, the state ministers, the candidates for election to the state legislature, the members of the state legislature, the judges of the high courts. Here the articles covered 75, 84, 99, 124, 146, 173, 188 and 219. Next, coming to fourth schedule. It deals with the subject allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha to the states and the union territories. Articles covered 4 and 80. Next, coming to fifth schedule. Provisions related to the administration and control of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes. It covers the article 224. Next, coming to sixth schedule. It deals with the provisions related to the administration of tribal areas in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Articles cover 244 and 275. Next, coming to seventh schedule. It deals with Division of powers between the union and the states in terms of list 1 union list, list 2 state list, and list 3 concurrent list. Presently the union list contains 98 subjects. Originally it contained 97 subjects. Next, the state list. It contains 59 subjects. Originally, it is 66 subjects. Next, the concurrent list. It contains 52 subjects. Originally, it is 47. Articles covered 246. Next, coming to ninth schedule. It deals with the acts and regulations of the state legislature dealing with land reforms and abolition of the Jamindari system and of the parliament dealing with other matters. This schedule was added by the First Amendment Act 1951 to protect the laws included in it from judicial scrutiny on the ground of violation of fundamental rights. However, in 2007, the Supreme Court ruled that the laws included in this schedule after April 24, 1973 are now open to judicial review. What are the articles covered here? 31B. Next, coming to 10th schedule. It deals with the provisions relating to disqualification of the members of parliament and state legislators on the ground of defection. This schedule was added by the 52nd Amendment Act of 1985 and also known as Anti-Defection Law. Articles covered 102 and 191. Next, coming to 11th schedule. It deals with specifies the powers, authority and responsibilities of panchayats. It has 29 matters. This schedule was added by the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. Articles covered 243G. Next, coming to 12th schedule. It specifies the powers, authority and responsibilities of municipalities. It has 18 matters. This schedule was added by the 74th Amendment Act of 1992. Articles covered here 243W. Next, coming to sources of the Constitution. What are the sources of the Constitution? C. Sources and features borrowed. Government of India Act of 1935. From that, we borrowed Federal Scheme, Office of Governor, Judiciary, Public Service Commissions, Emergency Provisions, and Administrative Details. Next source is British Constitution. From that, we borrowed Parliamentary Government, Rule of Law, Legislative Procedure, Single Citizenship, Cabinet System, Prerogative Writs, Parliamentary Privileges, and Bicameralism. Next, coming to US Constitution. From that, we borrowed fundamental rights, independence of judiciary, judicial review, impeachment of the president, removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges, and the post of Vice President. Next, coming to Irish Constitution. We borrowed from it Directive Principles of State Policy, DPSPs, nomination of members to Rajya Sabha, and method of election of President. Next source is Canadian Constitution. From this, we borrowed federation with a strong center, vesting of residuary powers in the center, appointment of state governors by the center, and advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Next, coming to Australian Constitution. From that, we borrowed concurrent list, freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse, and joint sitting of the two houses of parliament. Next, coming to Weimar Constitution of Germany. From this, we borrowed suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. Next source is Soviet Constitution, USSR, now Russia. What are the features borrowed from it? Fundamental duties and the ideal of justice, social, economic and political in the preamble. Next, coming to French Constitution. From that, we borrowed republic and the ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity in the preamble. Next, coming to South African Constitution. From this, we borrowed procedure for amendment of the constitution and election of members of Rajya Sabha. Next, coming to Japanese Constitution. From this, we borrowed procedure established by law. These are the sources of the constitution. Thank you, friends. If you like my presentation, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.